Good evening, Dr. Eddie. Good evening, Confidence. Good evening, all.
Good evening, Bashir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Welcome.
Yes, I don't know the section chair. Is he in already?
Not yet. Sir,
Dr. Adetona.
can you rename your device? It's showing home PC.
Okay, okay. Let me see.
Thank you.
Oh. How?
Prof, good evening.
Good evening. Dr. Eji, I guess.
Yes, I can see your name here, Doc.
How are you now? Good to see you.
Yes, so yeah, I'm okay, I'm good.
That's fine.
So how's the family now?
Good evening. Yeah, Prophet Lemike, good evening too.
Good
Oh,
evening.
Frog,
Yes, good evening. Good
good
to have
evening,
all
how
of
are
you on
you?
board. I'm all right, and you, sir?
I'm good, though. Thank God.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for agreeing to do our presentation.
I tell you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Thank you.
I've carried my notebook so I can start taking notes.
Necessary.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if I should go ahead with the presentation, or are there initial, things to be done? The chair, I don't know if you're here.
Prof, sir, we have
Yes.
some preliminaries before you can go ahead.
So I should hang on.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much. So I'm confident you are moderating.
Yeah, let the moderator just start, please. We can't keep these people waiting. They are very busy people.
Yes, sir. Moderator.
Okay, let me share my screen. I want to start sharing my screen.
Yeah, please just go ahead. Just go
Good
ahead.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Please, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Indicate.
I can hear you loud and clear. Just go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Confidence.
You're all welcome to one for SP. I'm trying to share my screen open where I have the slides. Okay, well, I'm trying to share my screen. All of us, we are all welcome to this meeting. I believe that you are going to gain a lot. I'm seeing the topic and I'm seeing what we are going to talk about today, and it's all going to be amazing. Next thing on our agenda is the opening prayer, which is the first stanza of the national anthem. Oh my God, look at this paper. Mr. Bashir.
Yes. Confident.
Please, I'm trying to share using my system, and And that's why I have like, well, it's not open. Please, can you share? Well, the moment it opens here, I will indicate to you so that we can take the opening prayer.
Okay, no problem. Just recite the opening prayer and we'll follow while I try to project.
Okay.
Mm.
We are saying the text stanza of the national anthem. That's O God of all creation. That stanza. So at the count of 3, let's all take it together. 1, 2, 3, go. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with plenty, Nigeria is blessed. All right,
Amen.
once again, amen. Thank you, Mr. Bashir.
Amen.
All right, once again, we are all welcome to this January technical lecture, and the topic is carbon nanomaterials, the sustainable and new technology in drilling fluid. You can see from the topic that it's going to be an interesting session, and just like I always tell everybody, have your notepad and your pen ready because you are going to learn, whether you are new in the industry or you're already in the industry or guys and those that want to learn. Whatever level you are in the industry, I'm very much sure that you're going to find this topic very, very interesting. Okay, so moving forward, I've not even introduced myself. My name is Ibe Confidence Chika, a YP of Society of Petroleum Engineers, Warri section. A chapter, but I've forgotten. And I started as a student member, and I'm so much enjoying it. And I'm very, very much glad. I'm very, very much privileged to be moderating this section. And I hope we all, just like I have promised myself, we are going to gain a lot. Okay, moving forward. This is the time to tell us about safety, whether it's a virtual or a physical meeting. We also have to understand that safety is supposed to be our top priority. So to take us on the safety session, I'm going to be calling on one of our amazing YPs in the meeting, Macaulay Ogbenebrohi, Victoria. Yes, let me add that one in case I did not call her name very well. She's going to take us on the safety section. Victoria, are you with us? Please indicate and take us on the safety section.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Chika. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Over here, I can't see the screen, but I'll go regardless. Safety should be our topmost priority. So either virtual or physical, we have to take safety matters seriously. So we should ensure to mute our mind when not speaking and try to use the chat box for comments, questions, and answer. Ensure to maintain a good sitting posture. And for those using headphone or ear devices, we should ensure to be still be able to be allowed with our environment regardless of the devices. And in case we are not open for any degree, but wherever you are, in case there is any cause for alarm, just ensure to leave the meeting, attend to whatever situation, and come back to the meeting. And we should be alert of our environment. Thank you so much. Chika, over to you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you so much, Victoria, for taking us on the safety, and you can see whatever she has mentioned there is going to help us to have a very seamless meeting this evening. Okay, so moving forward, we are going to have the opening remark, and permit me to introduce to you Dr. Adetuna, the section chairman, SP Warri Nigeria section, is going to take us on the opening remark. Dr. Adetuna, please, the floor is yours.
Is he on the call?
That's what I want to confirm.
I don't think he's on the call yet, so maybe I'll just take it on his behalf while he can take the closing remarks later.
Thank you very much, sir. That would be very nice. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, good evening all. I believe you can all hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, I want to start by wishing all of us a very happy new year again and welcome to the year 2026. This happens to be the very first technical lecture we'll be having this year 2026, and it's going to be taken by no less a personality than someone that I know to be a very, very astute lecturer and a researcher, the person of Professor Eliasim Elemike. Prof, you're welcome again. And I also want to use the opportunity to welcome my friend and friend of SP Section 104, the immediate past Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Petroleum Resources, in the person of Professor Rim Ruki, Professor Rims Ruki, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Prof, you're welcome. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm excited
All right.
to be
So
here.
I welcome everyone that is on this call. I think a lot of people are having network issues. Well, they will join at some point. I believe that we'll all pay attention as the topic that we are discussing today. It's something that I'm very passionate about, talking, especially when it involves drilling, because that's actually like my field. So we'll be looking at carbon nanomaterials, a sustainable and new technology in drilling fluids. I'll be taking down my notes, and I will advise anyone that is on this call to also please be taking down your notes, because I believe that justice will be done to this topic. Thank you very much, and I welcome everyone to this technical meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Hope you can all still hear me.
Yes, we can.
Can anyone hear me? Please indicate. Okay, thank you.
We can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. That's interesting. Yes, sir. Person that will be taking us on the lecture this evening. His name is Professor Elas. He's a professor of inorganic and nanomaterials chemistry in the Department of Chemistry, University of Petroleum Institute. He has much experience in academia and process industries. He has his first 2 degrees in inorganic chemistry from the University of Petroleum. His current research interest is in green technology for several applications, including energy storage, oil-field chemicals, agriculture, water purification, treatment, and environmental remediation. Elias Emeka is currently the Director Center for Sustainable Development, Chairman, College of Science Conferences and Journal, and Chairman of the Wow. Yes, program according to the health. He is for including science and just chemist of the Society of South African Athletes and Polymer Institute of also chemical of joy authors and journalists and professor of awards such as 2024 CWS UNESCO Associates for Nigeria Program NS I program South Africa was 16. Young people for section lost more. Conference. His mentor graduates and graduate students on some subject. Yet to clean water for all and sustainable energy using nanomaterials. Elias has about 100 published scholarly articles and This is amazing. A short round of applause, please, our and please have your confidence because after you have answers, so you can jot down yourself and prepare to be amazed after us. So, for me to go to over Mr. Professor Yasin. So please, you are welcome to take over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Confidence. Even when I was struggling to hear you well, because it looks like your network was really shaking. Good evening, everyone, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to share some, information and knowledge with you. One thing I believe in this life, any knowledge shared is for the betterment of a society, a nation, and the world. Because the knowledge that you have within you, if you don't share it with anybody, then it's very useless. That's what I see, or perception I have about knowledge. Before I begin, I want to appreciate SPE Warri session for inviting me for this knowledge sharing series. I also want to, in a special way, appreciate my former vice chancellor, Professor Akpofure. I didn't know he was going to be here. In fact, I was so glad when I saw him. He was my former vice chancellor. He's the one that made me the director, Center for Sustainable Development. And one thing I've come to see about him, if you have somebody that you hold so much at high esteem, you always be in support. You wouldn't want to leave the person behind. You always want to support him at every point in time to see that he's progressing. I really want to appreciate you for that, my honorable prof. And for every other person here, both those I know and those I don't know, Dr. Eddie, thank you for this opportunity. Engineer Detona is not here yet. And for the other members of the XPE Warri session and beyond, I was thinking I'm going to have more audience. I can just see just 13 person, but it's all fine. I think we are growing in this space of online sessions. We are not yet used to it, but I know that we are growing. So thank you, and once more. I don't know, Confidence. I hope I should be able to share my screen. You disabled me, Confidence. I hope I can share. So enable me to share my screen, please.
Yes, you can share your screen.
Yeah, Prof. Well, if you, I just don't know. I think maybe it's the network. Because usually in a meeting like this, we are not usually less than 40. So, but I believe that they will join the call. As time goes on. Maybe they're having network issues. You could see even Confidence. We're struggling to hear her speak. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. No problems at all.
Mr. Bashir, please make me a co-host so that I can share his screen.
I'm still waiting. It's still not enabled.
Bashir, are you on? Can you hear us? Can you hear Confidence? Let me see if I can do it. I'm only a co-host, so I hope.
Please, if you can make him a co-host, sir, that would be appreciated so that I can share his screen.
I've done that. Sorry, I was speaking on a muted mic.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
I think
you're a co-host now, sir, so you can share your screen.
Okay, confirm if you can see it now.
Yes.
Okay. As I said earlier, my name is Elenike Elias. a professor of inorganic and nanomaterials chemistry, Department of Chemistry, Federal University of Petroleum Research, Efuru, and I am the Director Center for Sustainable Development in that university. Looks like, okay. So today we'll be talking about carbon nanomaterials, a sustainable technology for oil drilling, or for drilling, or in drilling modes. So oftentimes people don't understand what nanomaterials or nanotechnology is all about. When they hear the word nanotechnology,
can you can you make the presentation to be on the slideshow, please, so that it will be visible?
Can you see it now? You see?
Yes, it's on slideshow now.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
So I was saying, when we hear the word nanomaterials, sometimes it sounds so strange to us, as if it's something that doesn't exist within this planet. But it is something that we live with every now and then. You know, some of the molecules in our body are, nanomolecules, or they are made of nanomaterials. So many things, but this word nanotechnology just came recently, because before the existence of chemistry, or even with the existence of chemistry, physics, and some sciences, you find out that, take for instance, if you take a cube of sugar and you put it inside water, you find out that it will take some time to dissolve. But when that sugar is in a granular form or is in a powdered form, you find out that once you put it inside water, it will dissolve immediately. What simply has happened is just that the surface area of that sugar was exposed for interaction and for reaction. So that is how a nanomaterial looks like. When you see a bulk material, and that bulk material, you now take it down to a nanometer, a size that your eyes cannot see, a size that even microscope in the laboratory cannot see. But just for the aid of a special microscope, like a transmission electron microscope, those are high resolution microscopes that could see these materials. And they are able to measure them in their sizes. And those sizes are below 100 nanometers. When we hear the word nano, it just simply 10 raised to power minus 9 meters. So it is those machines that will be able to see these materials in that nano form. So any material that has a size or its dimension, any of its dimension, in the range of 1 to 100 nanometers is regarded to as a nanomaterial. But this nanomaterial, they could occur in particle form. They have different shapes. Okay, they could occur as spheres. They could occur as rectangles, polygons, as fibers, and so on and so forth. So when you see them in form of fibers, you can call them like nanofiber, just like a strand of hair. Maybe a human hair, just take a strand of hair like that, and you just cut it into pieces, maybe cut it into 1,000 pieces. You could imagine taking a little strand of hair, cutting it into 1,000 pieces. You may not be able to see the side, or no microscope may be able to get the side. But some of these transmission electron microscope will be able to detect that the size of this material is in nanometer. So once the dimension of any of the material is within 1 to 100 nanometers, then that material could be regarded as a nanomaterial. Then you can give it the name based on the shape that it has. Remember I said you can only detect them with the aid of some instruments. I have mentioned transmission electron microscope. There's also one we call scanning electron microscope. Scanning electron microscope will be able to detect the morphology, or rather the shape of that nanomaterial in such a way that if that nanomaterial is in form of a sphere, you call it a nanosphere. If it is in form of a rectangle, you call it a nanorectangle. If it is in form of a polygon, you call it a nanopolygon. Any form that it takes, you call it that. So having said that about nanomaterials, we have different classes of nanomaterials. We have the organic nanoparticles and nanomaterials. We have the inorganic. We have the composite nanoparticles. We also have the carbon-based nanomaterial. When you talk about the organic, you refer to like polymers or the biomolecules. Remember, the skin is a typical example of a polymer. You can just have some hairs also is a typical example of a fiber. So those could be classified under polymers or biomolecules, and they are a group of organic nanoparticles. We have the ones we call micelles, we have dendrimers, we have liposomes. For some of us that have background in biochemistry, will be conversant with liposomes. So these are a group of organic nanoparticles. Then we have the inorganic nanoparticles. These inorganic nanoparticles have to deal with some metals. Take, for instance, I have gold nanoparticles, I have zinc oxide nanoparticles, I have iron oxide, and so on and so forth. This group of nanoparticles are referred to as inorganic nanoparticles. There was a time I went to the dental clinic to fill my teeth. Okay, in the process of filling the teeth, I was just looking at what the dentist was doing, and I found out that he was using a zinc oxide to fill my teeth. And I was marveled. I know that zinc oxide has a whole lot of applications, also in filling, in dental care. So you see that some of those nanomaterials, they have use already. It's not just that we are just synthesizing them and we are keeping them. People are making use of them already in different, in healthcare delivery, in oil fields, and in energy storage, in a whole lot of other things, because they have proved to have properties beyond the normal properties of bulk material. Because also their properties are wonderful, that you can have like a zinc oxide and nanoparticles, and it will have a different property with just a normal zinc oxide. It will have improved properties because these zinc oxide are already in the nano form, because one of the dimension is within 1 to 10 nanometers. And when you talk about a composite nanoparticles, when we hear composite materials, is a material that is made of 2 or more different materials. So I could have something like a clay, and I incorporate zinc oxide into that clay. It becomes a composite nanomaterials or nanoparticle, okay? Because I don't have only one material there. I have both clay and I have both metal oxide nanoparticles. So that becomes a composite nanoparticle. And with this composite material, you can use it for a whole lot of things. It can be used in tissue engineering. It can be used in bone regeneration and a whole lot of other applications as well. Coming down to carbon-based nanomaterial, which is the topic for the day, there are some types of carbon nanomaterials. We have the fullerene bulky balls. We have the carbon nanotubes. In carbon nanotube, we have the single wall carbon nanotube and the multi-wall carbon nanotube. You can see the pictures there. Then we have the graphene. This graphene is obtained by exfoliation of graphite, which gave rise to that graphene. It's a 2-dimensional material. It's a 2-dimensional layered structure. So you can see the way it looks like. Then we also have graphene oxide. All these are types of carbon nanomaterial. In the graphene oxide, you can see some functional groups there. These functional groups are what impacts these improved properties on this nanomaterial. Then we also have the carbon nanofibers, and we also have the carbon quantum dots. Okay, so I've just mentioned all those nanomaterials, and because the topic for today is carbon nanomaterials, a sustainable and a new technology in drilling field. Why do we choose these carbon nanomaterials? Carbon is everywhere. We can get our carbon from a whole lot of things. Any material that contains carbon can give you carbon nanomaterial. It depends on the reaction conditions. the temperature at which you use in reacting them, or the methodology that you use in preparing it. In preparation of nanomaterials, there are two broad methods. We have the top-down approach and the bottom-up approach. From the name top-down, you'll see that from top, that is from a bulky material, you're reducing it to a smaller materials. And if you hear the name bottom-up, from little, you are still creating those nanomaterials. So the top-down approach may use some sophisticated instrument. This top-down approach is more or less a physical method. A typical example of that is a laser ablation, whereby you have, if you have a material and you subject that material to laser radiation, you see that that laser is going to disintegrate that material into nanoparticles. So you can prepare your carbon nanomaterials through that way. You can also prepare it through a chemical synthetic method. Through synthesis, you can go to the laboratory and get some materials that contains carbon, things like citric acid. You can use citric acid and you use a reducing material such as sodium borohydride to synthesize carbon-based nanomaterials in the laboratory. But some of those methodologies, some of them have their pros and cons. There are disadvantages and disadvantages. I've just mentioned that you can use things like sodium borohydride, which is a reducing agent. And if you're trying to use this kind of reducing agent, having in mind that sodium borohydride is a very dangerous element. So it could introduce some poison, into your carbon nanomaterials when you synthesize it. Then there is another method called the biological method, which I think we should make use of in this part of our world, because we have a whole lot of sources, of this carbon in our environment. Carbon could be sourced from a whole lot of materials, ranging even waste materials. In the course of the lecture, we are going to see the different sources through which we can get our carbon-based materials. I've earlier mentioned the different types of carbon-based materials: the fullerenes, the graphene oxide, the carbon nanodots, and so on and so forth. Let me now go down to the carbon dots. The carbon dots is divided into 4. We have the graphene quantum dots, we have the carbon quantum dots, we have the carbon nanodots, and we have the carbonized polymer dots. So sometimes when you read it over the literature, you'll be finding it confusing. Initially you saw carbon dots. How come you're seeing carbon quantum dots, carbon nanodots, graphene quantum dots, carbonized polymer dots? All of them are carbon dots. But depending on the material that are their sources, and based on their structure, that gives it its peculiar name, whether it is a graphene quantum dots, whether it is a carbon quantum dots, whether it is carbon nanodots or carbonized polymer dots. And whenever you hear dots, just know that the size of that nanomaterial is within the range of 2 nanometer to 10 nanometer. Anytime you hear anything, quantum dots, carbon nanodots, or just know that the size of that nanoparticles is below 10 nanometer. Remember, when you use the name nanoparticles or nanomaterial, the size of any of the dimension is within 1 to 100 nanometer. But when you scale it down, naming it a quantum dot, just know that the size, is lower than 10 nanometer. So that is the difference. Okay, so I have just mentioned some of the carbon dots, examples of them. We've mentioned carbon quantum dots. Carbon quantum dots can be prepared through various methods: the hydrothermal method, the microwave, the pyrolysis or carbonization method, thermal decomposition, chemical oxidation, electrochemical method, and so on and so forth. When you hear the word hydrothermal, what comes to your mind is just heating with water, or rather heating in the presence of water. So you could just get like a carbon source And a typical example of some of the researches that has been done, somebody used a water hyacinth to make a carbon quantum dot. What did he do? Just simply a hydrothermal treatment. First of all, you have to dry it, and you now crush it to be in a powder form. And after that, you do a hydrothermal treatment, reacting it in the presence of water for quite a long time, maybe, at a particular temperature. Some of those reactions they have their specific conditions. Under that condition, you might not be able to get your quantum dots. So you have to, look at the condition at which you are taking this reaction so that you'll be able to get what you want. Then some other researchers too, you can see that some of the references have produced graphene quantum dots using different methods as well. I have mentioned the laser irradiation method, the microwave synthetic method, the carbonization method, and so on and so forth. For the carbonized polymer dots, you can see some of the precursors. You see that you call it a precursor or you call it the source, okay? So the precursor there is nylon 66. So they use nylon 66 waste fiber to synthesize the carbonized polymer dots, okay? Then also for the carbon nanodots, you can still use all this. But remember, I mentioned to you, all of them are carbon dots, but depending on the size and also on the morphology, that gives it its specific name, okay? So for the carbon nanodots, you can still use things like citric acid, coconut water, palm kernel shells, and so on and so forth. So how do you prepare all these things that I've been talking? How do you prepare these carbon nanodots from their various feedstock? I've given you typical examples of some chemical synthetic methods, some physical methods, and also biological methods. But I told us earlier that for us here in Nigeria and here in West Africa, I think the best thing that happened to us when it comes to waste management is our ability to use some of our waste for the synthesis of this carbon dot, because this carbon dot has come to stay and is given a whole lot of properties, a whole lot of interesting properties to different applications. At the end of this lecture, we will be able to appreciate the application of these carbon dots in a drilling field. So you can see, you can get carbon dots from rice husk, from dry onion stalks, from sugar cane baggers, from banana peels, orange peels, vegetables, from wood sawdust, from paper waste, fabric scrap, even from PET water bottles, from plastic bags. Remember, all this contains carbon. So in as much as they have high concentration of carbon in them, they will be able to give you carbon dots. So what are the synthetic methods? Take, for instance, I take PET water bottles, okay? We know that PET water bottles, they are everywhere. So it's even a good source of carbon dot. It's even a good way of waste management. So when you take all this, it's a question of carbonizing it. You carbonize it, at a very high temperature, a temperature of up to 300, 400, 500 degrees C. Okay, after carbonizing it, what you're going to get is carbon. Then you undergo what we call a hydrothermal treatment. You can use the pyrolytic method, or you can use an autoclave thermal process. So if you look at the diagram, the one on top is an autoclave system, synthetic method. So it's a question of introducing the carbonized material into that autoclave, and you introduce water, and you perform the reaction at a temperature between 180 to 220 degrees C under pressure, for some time, maybe 2 to 4 hours. At the end of it all, whatever thing you have, you're going to filter it. And when you filter it, it is your filtrate that will have the carbon dots, not the residue. Because these carbon dots, remember I told you that their size is lower than 10 nanometer. So any material that has that size of lower than 10 nanometer will pass through your filtration method. So when you get a filtrate, you now centrifuge. Okay, when you centrifuge it, you'll be able to get your carbon nanodots. Okay, and one good thing about these carbon nanodots is that they have fluorescent properties. When you radiate them with a UV lamp, you see that it's going to give you some fluorescent behavior. That is one good thing about them. I remember sometimes in the laboratory in our university, when we synthesize and we'll pass it through UV, you see different kinds of colors, bluish, greenish, you know, and you become so excited that it's possible, even when you have not subjected it to the instrument, to be sure, you know, of the side. But that one is an indication that you're going towards the right direction, okay? So coming now to drilling mud, okay? Drilling mud, we know we have, when it comes to drilling mud, especially oil-based drilling mud, because that is where our interest is, because this oil-based drilling mud seems to be an issue, okay? So you have your diesel, which is your continuous phase, you have your emulsifier, you have your surfactants, and so on and so forth as your base fluid, okay? Then you now introduce your carbon nanodots when you are preparing that drilling mud, and you now use it, you know, in drilling. You find out that some of the properties, you know, that it is going to exhibit will be better than when you have just your base fluid, which comprises only your diesel, your emulsifier, your surfactants, and so on and so forth. And having seen all this, remember I told you one thing that makes the carbon nanomaterials, or rather nanomaterials in general, to be outstanding is because of their high surface area to volume ratio. They always have that, and it makes absorption reactions on the surface to be top-notch because all their surface areas are exposed for different kinds of reactions. So in one of the works that we do, in the diagram, you see a whole lot of things going on there. What we now did, you know, in preparing our drilling mud, we have 4 different formulations. And in that 4 different formulation, we have the base fluid alone, you know, the base fluid, which is just normal diesel, your emulsifiers, your surfactants alone, with some other thing, pH adjusters, and just normal drilling fluid. Then we have another one that contains the base fluid and the organophilic clay, or the bentonite clay, okay, which is an orthodox clay used in drilling mud. Then we have another one that has just the base fluid with carbon dots alone. And we also have a drilling mud that contains both base fluid, the organophilic clay, and also the carbon dots. And after doing all this, we are astonished with the kind of findings that we came up with. We now notice that for the baseline fluid, the control formulation, which contains no additives, it shows significantly poor fluid control, recording the highest filtration volume and the thickest cake. And the cake that we were able to describe as a very thick cake, soft and tacky cake. Remember, during the process of drilling, the only thing that can give you information about what is happening down there is your drill cuttings, okay? So when you bring out your drill cuttings and it shows you all these properties that are not pleasant for you, then your drilling mud is not a good one. So when we use the base fluid, you know, in our laboratory research, we noticed that there was a thick cake, which is soft and also tacky. In the case of the organophilic clay, which is a conventional additive, it was able to achieve good conventional control, but reduce filtration volume and decrease the cake thickness. In the case of carbon dots, there was reduced filtration loss, and also it produced a thinner filter cake. And this cake is very thin, very smooth, and cohesive. And the efficiency is attributed due to the small size of the carbon dots, okay? So this will help in effectively modifying the fluid structure and plug micropores. When it comes to the combination, rather the formulation that has both the carbon dots and the organic clay, that is where we have the best result, okay? The blend showed a synergistic effect contributing the properties of the organophilic clay and also that of the carbon dust. When you see the structure of the carbon dust, you see that carbon dust is an amphiphilic material. What do I mean by that? It has both the lyophilic properties and the hydrophilic properties. So it can blend both with an oil and both with water. So it is amphilic, and which also makes it a very good material to be introduced in a drilling mode. So having a combination of both the clay and the carbon dust, we're able to get a better result, better than using only organophilic clay, better than using only carbon dust and also the fluid itself. So these findings show that carbon dust significantly enhance drilling fluid performance and the ability of carbon dust to achieve superior filtration control at very low concentration. Good thing about it is that the concentration that you need is not even much, because one of the problems would be encountered over the years in the process of synthesis of nanomaterials is that you always have a low yield. So in this case, a little introduction of the carbon dust will even give you that superior properties that you want. Okay, so in general, the properties introduced by the carbon dust in the drilling fluid includes superior fluid stabilization. You see the fluid of high stability, reduced filtration loss, improved thermal stability, enhancement of wellbore stability, then the fluid's ability to transport cuttings efficiently, so that when they drill cuttings and you bring it out, you'll be able to analyze it and know what exactly is happening down there. So this ability to transport your cuttings efficiently, and it also promotes better dispersion and significantly improves fluid rheological properties. So thank you, and thank you once more. Okay, I don't know if you are still with me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't want to be sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that lecture. It was short, but it was amazing, and it covered everything. Who knows, you can learn so much in such a short period.
Thank you.
Everybody can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead.
We are learning about how the application of nanomaterials, nanotechnology in drilling fluid. Like, who knows that such thing is possible in such a way? I was even trying to jot some things down, and it's so amazing, the preparation of the carbon dots, and knowing that what we're even looking for is coming from the free trade and not even from the residue. Sometimes when you are learning stuff like this in school, then they'll be telling you, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. Oh, learning never ends. Thank you very much, sir, once again for that, lecture. So it's time for question and answer. If you have question, you can indicate by raising your hand, or you can write it in the chat box, because I know we all have question.
Please, I've been looking for how to raise my hand, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Can I just ask a question?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. That's amazing. You can ask for me. You've muted yourself. You can ask your question.
All right, Prof. Thank you very, very, very much for this, because I'm actually doing a work related to this, but that one is something that has to do with drilling fluid as well. But like, I want to just find out, in what does these nanocarbon particles, is it will it be condition dependent. Like, is it, can you use it in, there are some fluids that are used for HPHT, that is high pressure, high temperature drilling.
Sure.
So will it be suitable in conditions in the HPHT condition?
Yes, it will, because one thing about these carbon nanomaterials, I told you, they are highly stable. So in the process of our reaction, I didn't go into details because we have to optimize first before we apply it in our drilling fluid. Okay, so we subjected it to very high temperature, up to 500 degrees C, okay, or even beyond, up to 600. And we find out that even at that temperature, it was still active. So if you use it in high temperature, high pressure drilling, it will still perform its properties excellently well.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Thank you
good.
very much.
Thank you.
Has the question been answered, Dr. Eddie?
Yes, very well. I just wanted to get something clear, and I think I've gotten it crystal clear.
Someone wrote in the chat box, he said, can nanodots be used in water flooding?
Water flooding. Well, it depends. It depends. If I get you clearly by what you mean by water flooding, if you can explain better.
The person that asked the question, let me
Hello,
see.
can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Mr. Shua Bakores. What I mean water flooding, the one that we use in the reservoir, if we are doing a EOR, enhanced oil recovery, we use a fluid that is friendly to the reservoir. Mostly we add some surfactant, other things we inject into the reservoir to help us bring the oil closer so that it can be produced. That is doing enhanced oil recovery. I don't know whether maybe this nano material can they be used there?
Yeah, if it is for oil recovery, to enhance your oil recovery, that is excellent, because that is part of what we've just mentioned, that it will help in the fluid flow. So instead of you having so much loss of your fluid, it will help you, to recover some of those fluids. Okay, so it will enhance the oil recovery. But when you use some other materials, just like the best fluid in the rain, you find that you are going to have a whole lot of fluid loss, So in this case, you will not have so much fluid loss. So it helps in oil recovery, a lot.
Oh.
Has the question been answered?
Yeah, it has been answered. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Any other person? Any other question? Okay, somebody asked on the chat box, how cost effective is this solution to conventional drilling fluid?
Well, when you come to cost effectiveness, just look at that you're getting it from a waste material. You are not paying anything to get the nanomaterials, to get the waste. The waste is just out there. I've just given us typical example. You can use, like the one we did, we use granite shell. Granite shell is everywhere, I know it might be difficult for you to say, okay, what quantity of granite shell are you going to get to be able to process? There is a whole lot of, if you don't use granite shell, there is water hyacinth. I give us a typical example of water hyacinth, some researchers that use water hyacinth. If we go to our creeks, sometimes you see water hyacinth everywhere. So it's something you can even clear, use it to make your carbon nanodots. Nobody collects money from you when you are clearing those carbon water hyacinth along the rivers or along the creeks. Okay, so the processing, but because now you're going to use it for industrial application, you're going to process a whole lot of them using those methods that I have said, your carbonization method. Remember, during carbonization, you're going to use energy and stuff like that. But just use it to compare your recovery amount of your fluid compared to when you use a normal base fluid, okay, where you're going to have a lot of you'll be able to, it reduces the loss of the fluid and be able to tell you a whole lot of things happening, under while you are drilling through your drill cuttings. So it's very, very cost effective. And it's also a way of environmental management, environmental waste management. And it's sustainable.
Okay. He has another question actually. The second question, because I was thinking when he had number 1 and number 2. Okay, he said, has there been a pilot deployment in the Niger Delta?
Okay. Well, we just finished. This research is in the process of being patented because, in fact, when we got the results, we are so amazed, with what that carbon dust could do. We didn't even just use much, just little quantity. We just do the laboratory tests, mimicking what happens under the ground. And we were able to get some of these excellent results, okay? Because the work is not patented yet, that's why I didn't want to give values of what we got and what we use until it is patented and it is out there in the public. But believe you me, by the time we'll finish the patenting, I think it is necessary that we deploy it because I know it's going to do a whole lot of work. Even before I did this work, I had somebody working in the field, and we are just discussing one day, and he told me that in their field, they're having some challenges, and they say it's carbon nanoparticles that can do that. I said, what are you telling me? This is what I do almost every now and then. And I gave him some sample of carbon nanodots. I said, try it out and give me the results. I'm still waiting for him, but I know definitely it's going to solve whatever problem he has there, in the field. So these carbon nanomaterials, as small as they are, as trivial we might think it takes, they are doing wonders. And that is one of the good things about nanotechnology. Sometimes when people do it, you might think, what is this person doing? When I started the work of nanomaterial in 2016 in South Africa, if I synthesize in the laboratory and I just use some instrument like ultraviolet visible spectrophotometer, to determine the light absorption of my materials, you find that I start having peaks, which corresponds, to the absorption of that nanomaterial, because I'll compare it with the literature. And then my host was looking at me and saying, what is this young man doing? I don't even understand, because he is familiar with the chemical synthetic method, but I have to bring the biological method. And it was working like magic, Over there now, most of them are just doing biological synthesis because these materials are available for you to use. You don't need to go and start buying reagents. You just need, the waste, going to the level of waste and some other things. So by the time we finish, I know when it is deployed, in pilot, or when we take it to the next stage, a prototype and all those things, it's going to be a technology that most of the companies around will imbibe.
Okay, that's very, very good. Thank you very much, sir. Do you have any other question? Is there anybody that wants to ask a question? Can take like an extra question before we continue. All right, I think we have exhausted our questions.
Okay.
Once again, yes? I said once again, thank you very much, sir, for the presentation. Dr. Eddie.
Thank you.
Dr. Eddie, please, can you make me a co-host so that I can share the rest of the slides and we can go on and end the meeting.
Is Bashir not on the call any longer?
He said he does not have
I
the right
am on, but I think I lost the rights. So, Mr. Dolapo, I beg, make confidence a host.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. That section was very good. You have told us all. If not,
Thank
like
you.
a lot of things you can use the carbon nanodust to do. And I'm very much sure for those of us that are asking questions, it shows that we learned a lot for me. Have them made me a post?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I need to share my screen so you can stop sharing now. Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Welcome. Welcome.
Okay, sir. Okay, we are almost to the end of the almost to the end of the section. Now is we have done our question and answer. I think the next thing remaining for us is photograph.
Madam Moderator, you skipped an item, the key takeaways, which is still your action, please.
Well, I did the key takeaways before I did the question and answer.
Oh, okay.
I did a brief recap of what I learned, and before I now open the floor for questions.
Okay, I might have missed that. Thank you. Kindly take the.
Abi, do you have any key
the
takeaway you want
photograph.
to tell us?
The photograph as well.
Yeah. Okay, want me to do the photograph?
Yes, please. So, SARS, profs, doctors, kindly share your video so that we'll have a group picture, please. Thank you.
Okay, please let's all open our videos so that we can see our faces. Okay. Oh my. If I take this screenshots with this laptop, how am I going to send it to you guys?
Okay, let me do that. Thank you. Your own camera is off.
Oh, my camera is off.
Programs chair, sir, your camera too is off.
No, my camera is not off. It's not showing that it's off.
I'm having problem with my camera and its networks generally.
Okay.
I'm struggling.
My camera is showing that it's on.
So you have maybe the lead. I mean, there's some, the cover is closed. Anyways.
The cover.
My camera should not. It's not showing that it's off.
No. It means that you missed out from the picture.
No problem. But at least I did not miss out from the session.
Yes.
Okay, have you taken the screenshot? I wish more persons, especially students, were even present in this.
Yes.
Because some of them, these are stuff that they give them to use and do.
I need to dash into another meeting.
Eh?
I hope we are. I'm free to enter another meeting. Cool.
Yes,
no,
Abby.
in
Abby,
another 5 minutes, you are free.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Prof. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Chair, welcome.
Thank you.
All right,
Have you taken the photograph?
Yes, I've done that.
Okay. Now we move over to vote of thanks, closing remark. So is Engineer Elvis Duruji in the meeting?
Yes, I'm here, please.
Okay, sir. Please, can you take us on the vote of thanks and closing
All right.
remark?
Thank you so much. On behalf of the section chair, I want to appreciate everyone, the director present, and everyone who have find time to participate in this technical lecture. Prof, thank you so much for the nano materials that will help in sustainable drilling fluids. We really appreciate you. And
thank
you
you.
really had time to share with us, even though it's not patented. It's a huge privilege. At least we know what is coming. And we pray that this, your research work, will bring multiple blessings to you and to us as a country and the world in large. So, dear colleagues, this is the SPE on a monthly basis. We try to create an opportunity and a platform to allow members and create an opportunity for us to get to know what's happening around the new technology, different fields, different body of knowledge, for us to continue to enhance ourselves, to continue to develop and to be aware. So once more, this is a huge privilege on SPE, and these are the benefits we get being members. So let's continue to participate, and we'll continue to enhance our knowledge. You never can tell where you apply this information and knowledge we're getting. So once more, on behalf of the section chair, I want to thank every one of you, and appreciate us to continue to build and work on ourselves. Thank you all. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that.
Thank you all.
Me
Thank you,
in
Prof.
particular, I'm very, very much happy for this. For SP, especially SP section 104. Funny how I'm no longer in Warri, but I still say I'm SP section 104 member.
Yes, you are. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
good
much.
evening.
Confidence. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
it. Thank
We
you,
have come
everybody,
to
for
the end
having
of
me
the
once more.
meeting.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, we have come to the end of the meeting, and